Here's to whiskey kisses, the peaty taste of sin.
Greetings, whiskey folk, and greetings, Andrew.
Hello.
Welcome to Big Bad John's. If you've never been to Big Bad John's, it is quite the experience, as you can see. We've done a couple of videos in here. I think my favourite one so far that I've done in here, I don't know if you saw it, did a goodbye video with Leon Webb.
I did see that. Yeah.
We did the Big Bad John's Mickey Masters, where we tried, I think, 4 different regularly available Canadian whiskies in Mickey format. It was very Big Bad John's. This is even more Big Bad John's. In fact, this is so Big Bad John's, it's not even funny. So, quick history on what this place is and why this place is important. So, at time of recording, we're about a week and a half away from Canada Day in 2024, which is very important because all the way back in 1954 on Canada Day, this very bar, in fact, where the camera is right now, is right in front of the actual bar. This very bar was the very first place in the entirety of British Columbia, Canada, to be able to legally serve liquor by the ounce.
Oh, right. Forgot about that.
It was known as the Strathcona-Room back then.
Right.
And actually, on the day that it started, liquor inspectors raided the place because the rules weren't really set in place. So they just started making shit up. Like, you couldn't have open bottles of liquor on display. That was too crude.
Liquor inspectors are finding it.
How far we've come, because we're about to not only have liquor on display and open, but for the whole wide world to see here on YouTube. And a very special bottle of liquor.
Yes, very special.
So shortly after the Strathcona Room opened, less than a decade, was the Seattle World's Fair. I think it was 1962, something like that, somewhere around there. And they decided to celebrate that here in Victoria, because we're quite close to Seattle, by turning this place into a quirky hillbilly bar, I guess.
Yeah. Mountain Man Retreat.
And I don't know if the whole bra thing came from like a dyslexic joke that someone actually called it a hillbilly bra, but there's bras everywhere, and it's just kind of a thing that happens. There's also peanuts. We should have got some peanuts. There's a big box of them over there. This is one of those places you get places in the shell. You throw the shells on the floor. There's all kinds of quirky just shit everywhere. This entire bar is made out of old like $1 coins. Actually, this is really cool. I've never paid much attention to this. There's weird money everywhere. It's kind of more of a museum than a bar in many ways.
And there's been a few celebrity visits too. I was looking on the walls. There's some photos. Now I couldn't name the celebrities. I'm terrible with those names, but definitely some autographs up on the wall too.
You're here. You're a celebrity.
Ah, shucks.
It's one of those places where if you're ever in Victoria, BC, you have to visit Big Bad John's. It's just this beautiful little dark hole that you can go and hang out in. Yeah. One of the things that I love about it personally is that it's the closest thing, and this sounds really weird to describe for anyone that has been to Big Bad John's, it's the closest thing I've found in Victoria to an actual British pub.
Really?
Yeah. Like, if you peel back the layers of peanuts and bras and cheap cans of Lucky and Jameson,
Western paraphernalia.
And weird country music, it's... The one key thing that I think lots of places that try and be British pubs here fail miserably on is a pub in Britain is not a place that you go to be waited on, to be served. Like, you don't walk in the door and have a greeter to show you to a table and a server come and take your order and all that fancy shit. No, you can sit down at the bar and you ask for a bloody pint, and it's just a home away from home.
Yeah, I can see it.
And you just hang out with people that you've never met before. You start up a conversation with a random stranger. And that's one thing I love about Big Bad John's, is this bar right here has seen so many crazy-ass conversations from people that I've never met. Yeah. It brings people from all walks of life together.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a place for regulars. We have lots of long-time regulars who enjoy their time in here. And also, this is where our bar staple regulars, this is where they mingle with tourists who are just coming in for a visit. It's great.
Yeah. So after 70 years now, Big Bad John's finally has its name on a bottle of liquor. You've probably seen the little sneak previews. There is a Big Bad John's whiskey. And we are about to do a full reveal because at the time of this video launching, there's 1 week left for pre-orders. So this is the our final pitch for why you should absolutely pick up a bottle of this whiskey for 15% off on our web store. So the big reveal, what's in the brown paper bag? Well, I think you've probably put 2 and 2 together right now. It's the Big Bad John's whiskey. And who better to do the big reveal than the guy who actually illustrated Big Bad John himself, not only on this whiskey twice, but also on the Big Bad John's beer. Andrew Redbeard, or am I using your illustrator name or your liquor store name here?
I guess my illustrator full name would be Andrew Redbeard Morris Mackay.
Nice, I like it. Alrighty, show us the goods.
All right,
show us the money.
Are
Oh,
Big Bad John's Northern Promise whiskey.
Nice. So let's talk a little bit about this, the label and the name, the whole concept here. So Northern Promise, it kind of stemmed from a combination of two ideas. One that we pitched here at the Strath and one that the distillers at Fermentorium. Phillips is the brewing and the malting and I think that's Soda Works. Phillips Soda Works as well. But their distillery is not allowed to use the word Phillips for various reasons, so they are Fermentorium. Same company though. And they pitched one name, we pitched another. So the name that we pitched was Northern Hospitality. Which I still kind of like, but I do get it's maybe a little unnecessarily long. And they pitched Golden Promise, which was a great name. However, a little bit tricky because there is a strain of barley called Golden Promise that this doesn't use, so I didn't want to fall into that false advertising trap. And also, Macallan, I think, has a whiskey called Golden Promise, and they have a lot more money for lawyers than we do. So we kind of mashed them together. Safe. Yeah. And the whole idea here was kind of going on the gold rush theme, right? Yeah. And how did that work into the illustration?
It was really, really fun. I mean, as somebody who I was fortunate enough to draw and design Big Bad John for the beer cans as well as this, as born and raised Victorian, Big Bad John's has always been just there. Everybody always knows about Big Bad John's. And growing up as a kid, especially driving across Canada with my grandparents in their trailer, my grandma loved playing the song Big Bad John. And so I always had this notion, this idea, this character of Big Bad John in my head of like a West Coast, basically like a stereotype of so many of the West Coast things, mountain man, lumberjack, and prospector, which, as many people probably already know, this part of Canada, Victoria and Vancouver, boomed for the gold rush. And so with the beer cans, Big Bad John's 5X Lager, I decided to go more towards the Mountain Man theme. However, with this label, I was excited to get to explore the prospecting side of Big Bad John.
You can actually see on this side, because there's two illustrations, one on each side. On this side, he's actually literally panning for gold, which is, if you've never seen anyone pan for gold, it's really interesting. And you can actually still do it here.
Yes,
if you go up to Souk, there's you can rent the equipment and go into the river and see if you can find gold. I know a couple of people who can. So.
Yeah. And gold panning itself is still a hobby that lots of people do. Yeah.
And then on this side, he's got the little pickaxe as well, just in case he gets into some trouble.
So the one illustration there where he's just sitting, I had the idea that lots of prospectors excited for their adventure coming up, they would get their equipment, and before they went out into the wilderness, they would go to the nearest photographer to get a tintype or a photograph made they could send back to their family back in Europe or back east to say, here I am, about to make it big with gold. And so that's what I had the idea for this illustration here. And the illustration, as Adam stated, it's Big Bad John actually panning for gold. And I had the idea of, yes, he does have a pan and he's kneeling down panning for the gold nuggets, but he's also discovered a nice Glencairn of whiskey, just
liquid gold.
Liquid gold was my idea, exactly. So as he's panning for gold, he's also holding up this Glencairn of liquid gold. So it was really, really fun. It was really fun. And of course, I got to collaborate with Fermentorium's in-house artist, Sean O'Keefe, to do the overall design, but I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to do the illustrations for Big Bad John. It was definitely a dream come true, doing both the beer and the whiskey. I'm very fortunate.
I'll have to do a gin next one.
Oh, yeah, that'll be fun.
But yeah, it's such a cool bottle, such a cool label. And I think before I start talking about the whiskey and the concept of what we'll write that together, we should actually crack it open and try it. First ever bottle of Big Bad John's whiskey to be opened.
I'm excited.
Do it. You got the honor.
Here we go.
We get to pause for the pump. I think it's a cork. It is a cork. Well, a screw top might have been more.
It might have been more Big Bad John's if we were doing a screw top, but here we go with the cork. Oh, didn't have much of a pop.
That's okay.
But there we go.
Hang on. Let me try again. We can always edit it out. I don't think we will edit it out, but sometimes if you moisten the cork first,
tricks of the trade.
Behind the scenes.
There we go. Way better than mine.
All right. Cool. Sorry. So shot glass or rocks glass? That's the question in Big Bads, right?
I feel like shot glass is more what they would be drinking out of
Back in the day,
back in the day.
Prospector. This is straight up Deadwood whiskey.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't that mean, for anyone who's seen the show Deadwood, I think that means that we have to call each other cocksuckers from now on.
Cocksucker. Yeah, exactly. Hoople heads.
So we're not actually going to shoot this, because
No.
despite this actually being a very shootable whiskey, it's early in the morning and I have a whole day ahead of me.
A whole shift ahead of
This is
myself.
a review, not a let's get drunk video. All right, but we will cheers.
Yes, cheers. Slam.
Smash it. Hot damn. So, man, got it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the whole idea behind this whiskey came from I've been begging Fermentorium for a while now to get some samples because I know they've been making whiskey and I love supporting local whiskey. And we've got a program here at the Strath of doing single cask whiskies from BC distilleries. We started off with Shelter Point and then Divine and then Odd Society and then Stillhead. And I guess Fermentorium's now the 5th distillery that we've bottled a single cask from. This isn't that single cask. We actually have a single cask as well. You'll see a video for that shortly. It's called Mixtape.
Right, yes.
But when I got a bunch of samples, some of them were phenomenal, some of them needed more work, and then some of them were just not quite right. There was something a little off about them, slightly out of balance. And I was actually hanging out in my office, my normal studio upstairs with Russ from Phillips, and we did some experimentation, and I came up with the idea, this one's a little bit too bitter, this one's a little bit too sweet, let's see what happens if we mix them at different ratios. And we came up with 2 casks that on their own didn't really work out that well, but together were glorious. And they were 2 incredibly different casks, and that is the concept that led me to Big Bad John's, because as I was just saying, it's a place where incredibly different people can come together.
That's exactly
right?
Yeah.
So those 2 casks in question, it actually says right here, a little bit of information. First of all, this is actually a single malt. It says authentic Canadian whiskey on the front because we wanted to go with the whole, Canadian bar, Big Bad John's thing. But for those whiskey nerds among us, 100% barley. Also, 100% grown on the island in Saanich. Malted just down the road, distilled and aged just down the road at Phillips. All of the production of this whiskey, all of the liquid, is from within like 15-mile radius, I think. I think even the yeast. So, single malt batch 1, because I'm so confident that we're going to be doing a batch 2. A combination of meticulously selected casks from 2015 and 2019 and previously contained BC craft Scotch ale, Kentucky bourbon, and Californian red wine. So, 3 things, but only actually 2 casks went into this. So, it was a 2015 cask, so about a 8 or 9-year-old whiskey now, which is kind of wild. And that's, I think, the 60% of it, is the larger bulk, which was originally from a Kentucky ex-bourbon barrel that then Phillips put their own Scotch ale into that ex-bourbon barrel, and then this whiskey went into the ex-Scotch ale, ex-bourbon cask.
Right, yes.
And the other cask is a much younger, from 2019, so 4 or 5 years old, Californian rosé wine cask, which was so full of flavour. It must have been a particularly active wet cask. It was French oak as well, I think, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So very, very different flavour profiles. And also, I think a particularly Big Bad John's thing to throw whiskey, bourbon, beer, and wine into one bottle.
Yeah.
Right?
Just get what you can in one cask.
Just
See how it tastes. Yeah.
One whiskey, one scotch, one beer.
Yeah.
It's a single malt, 100% malted barley. It's designed to be good for sipping. From the get-go, we wanted a whiskey that our whiskey nerds here at Whiskey Folk and here at the Strath would really enjoy sipping at a budget price. And we also wanted a whiskey that brand new people just getting into whiskey, or people whose most biggest experience of whiskey might be something like Jameson, say, could mix with a ginger ale or Coke or whatever, and it would still work. It has enough flavour to pull through into that flavour profile. It wouldn't be too alien of a flavour for people who are used to that style of whiskey, but also, and potentially more possibly quite importantly, you'll notice the kind of glasses that we're using. That's not a mistake. This is designed to be able to be used in this kind of glass. And, I'm not sure if we're legally allowed to condone shooting whiskey here in BC, but for those of you who like to partake in such experiences, this won't kill you. This is, well, I mean, drink enough and it will, of course, but this is not going to incredibly strong. It's not burny. It's bottled at 45%, so it is stronger in alcohol than most whiskeys that you would normally shoot. But it's designed to be smooth AF.
Yeah, I mean, just like you were saying with all the different casks or the 2 casks, but all the different whiskeys that went into it, kind of, you're talking about how it links with you with the diversity of the people within Big Bad John's, the bar. I find that it's both, just like the bar, it's got its a little bit of complexity, and that again I would equate to the regulars at Big Bad John's, but then it's also very, very, very easy drinking and approachable. Just like anybody who's visiting Victoria or a Victorian who's never been to Big Bad John's. It's not an intimidating place. You're very welcoming and easy to enjoy yourself here, just like this whiskey. It's not intimidating, but it does have something for everybody, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that comes from those mix of casks. So it has this nice sort of almost nutty, fruity thing it's kind of like apricot kernels.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting apricot.
It's really cool. It might just be the room, but there is a little bit of a sort of peanut butter thing going on with those.
It might be the room, but yeah, I get that bit too.
Yeah, just big vanilla, nice little hits of like a sharp tannic bit afterwards, which makes you feel like you've actually had some whiskey. It's smooth, but it's not there. This is not John Cena. You can see it, you can feel it. Man, I'm so happy with how this turned out. I have to say.
Yeah, and I can't wait for everybody else to be able to try it.
Yeah, it will be available in Big Bad John's very soon. We're going to have a bit of a launch party, I think. We're actually doing something called a buckshot.
Oh.
Yeah, so Big Bad John's serves Phillips Blue Book. So you can get a sleeve of Blue Book and a shot of Big Bad John's Northern Promise together for a set price, like a sidecar.
Oh, that's
call it a
fantastic.
buckshot. It's a book and a shot.
That's fantastic. Yeah. That's a great idea. Also, I mean, Big Bad John, he's known for carrying around that buckshot shotgun.
Absolutely. I think, does he have it in this one? No, he has it on the can, though.
Yeah, on the can, he's got his double barrel.
Yeah, he's got it for, this is a double barrel.
Hey!
Yeah.
Oh, hey! Another Big Bad John Lake.
Nice. Oh, man. So yeah, this is available for pre-order right now if you're watching this within a couple of days of the video launching. If you're watching it afterwards, it might still be available on the store, and because it's YouTube and this video is probably going to be up for decades, hopefully wherever you're watching this, we're up to batch 7, 8, 9, 10, 40, I don't know. I don't think this whiskey's going anywhere. This is part 1 of what is going to be an incredible series of whiskeys, and they're all going to be different, just like Big Bad John's. We're not looking for consistency. We're looking for exactly that theme of 2 casks, maybe sometimes 3, that are very different, that work well together. That is what's going to tie these series of releases together, and I'm really looking forward to that. So
yeah, me too.
I, in great fashion, forgot to make any notes about what the price of this whiskey is. I can tell you that it's going to be launching on Monday, and the date of that Monday is so Thursday's the 20th. I know that because that's when I become a citizen. So the 21st is Friday, the 22nd is Saturday, 23rd is Sunday, 24th. All right, June 24th, a week before Canada Day, exactly. You've got a week before the 70th anniversary of this bar. You can come and get your bottles. Those of you who have pre-ordered, they will be available to pick up in store. For those of you who have pre-ordered with postage, they will be sent out a day in advance, so you can try and hopefully be arriving on or soon after the date of release. And it is up with the price though.
So we got it regular price $53.83, but with the pre-sale discount right now, it is $45.76.
$45 for a 45% alcohol on the 45th barrel.
Oh my goodness! Did you plan all of this?
Not the price bit. We did specifically choose 45 instead of 46 because of the parallel.
Oh, that's fantastic! That's really fun.
$45 is one hell of a deal for a single malt. It is the least expensive single malt in our store, yes. And I would absolutely say, by in no means is it the least impressive single malt in our store. Yeah. Limited edition. There's only a couple hundred, I think 400 or 500 bottles of this that are going through production. So pick yourself up a bottle, maybe a case. This is the whiskey of the summer for me. This is one to enjoy with friends, potentially even make new friends, either at home or right here in Big Bad John's. All right, Sláinte, Andrew, this has been an absolute delight, and welcome to the world, Big Bad John's Northern Promise whiskey. Oh, sorry. I learned, as part of my becoming Canadian, I've been watching a lot of Canadian media. Letterkenny. when you finish a shot glass like this, you've got to go.
Does that mean more?
No, I don't know, but apparently they always tap twice. It's a thing.
Oh, there you go. Learn something new.
See you next time, guys.
Take care, you guys.
Your